Assalamu alaikum, my dear student. Already we have reviewed the topic of general pathology. Now starting systemic pathology, a very important topic. Breast, you know. Before knowing the lesion, anatomy of breast, you should know what is it. Structure of terminal duct lobular unit showing lactiferous duct, large duct, and mammary lobule. Mammary lobule contains acini, small ducts, ductus, and intralobular stroma. When we discuss the disease, we have to remember the important parts are, you know, lactiferous main duct, lactiferous sinus, and mammary lobule containing acini and stromal components. Common lesion originating from the anatomical aspect from lobule and terminal duct. The lesions are cyst, sclerosing adenosis, hyperplasia, atypical hyperplasia, and carcinoma. Now, from the large duct, remember the lesions are originating in ducts. So, duct ectasia, it may be duct ectasia or squamous metaplasia of the lining, known as Juska disease also. Papilloma may occur within the duct, and Paget's disease. Another stromal lesion. It is also a small viva question. What are the stromal lesion? Two types of stroma, you know, interlobular stroma and intralobular stroma. The intralobular stroma, you know, it is breast specific stroma and myxoid in nature, and the lesions are also specific for breast. These are fibroadenoma, the most common benign breast lesion. Another one, Fowler's disease. From the interlobular stroma, it is the generalized stromal tissue. So the lesions are also general. These are fat necrosis, most common, then lipoma, fibromatosis, and sarcoma. These are very rare. Last three are rare lesions. What are the clinical presentation? Patient present. It may be pain, may be a lump, or may be nipple discharge. When patient present with lump, pain, or nipple discharge, some common differential diagnosis we do. When patient present with pain, usually almost all painfulness are benign. So the painful presentation usually benign one. And when a palpable mass is present, it may be due to a cyst and short in duration. When prolonged duration, may be fibroadenoma, carcinoma. It may be short to long duration. Nipple discharge, there are many causes for nipple discharge, we have to exclude as it is milky, watery or bloody discharge. Galactorrhea or milky discharge may be due to increased prolactin level. Some drugs also cause galactorrhea. Often pus may be the discharge. To exclude the malignancy, we have to evaluate the type of nipple discharge, and also we have to evaluate if there is any palpable mass associated with the discharge. Now, a separate question: what are the inflammatory lesions of breast? Inflammatory lesion of breast. So, mastitis, it may be acute or chronic. Squamous metaplasia, duct ectasia, fat necrosis, and granulomatous mastitis, all are inflammatory lesion of breast. Acute mastitis most common in lactating mothers, whereas granulomatous mastitis is with unknown etiology, that it recurs and may be bilateral and may suffer more and more. Epithelial lesion. It may be benign or malignant. The benign epithelial lesions are categorized non-proliferative breast changes. Other umbrella are proliferative breast change without atypia, and it may be proliferative breast change or breast disease with atypia. Among the non-proliferative breast change, most common duct ectasia, cyst, apocrine change, mild hyperplasia, adenosis, and fibroadenoma without complex feature. When cystic change with apocrine metaplasia with adenosis and hyperplasia all together found, cyst, apocrine change, adenosis, this feature together may be found together or separately. These are also known as, these are also known as fibrocystic breast change or fibrocystic disease of breast, FCC. So, among the two most common benign breast lesion, most common number one is fibroadenoma, then fibrocystic change, which includes cyst, apocrine change, and adenosis. So, these two names you have to mention. These are fibroadenoma and fibrocystic change, and usually these are non-proliferative with no risk or very little risk of malignancy. But these are proliferative disease having no atypia. When proliferative, is there is atypia present or not, the chance of malignancy little more than non-proliferative disease, Here, hyperplasia is moderate or florid, adenosis becomes sclerosing, papilloma may occur, and complex sclerosing lesion is also included in the lesion, and some fibroadenoma may have complex feature. These are under the umbrella of proliferative disease, though most fibroadenoma are non-proliferative. and having little chance of malignancy. These two very much important and highly related with chance of malignancy. When proliferative disease with atypia, it may be ductal or lobular, atypical ductal hyperplasia and atypical lobular hyperplasia. So, both doctors and patient become more conscious and regular follow-up have to maintain. Carcinoma in situ. If diagnosed in this state, it is very much positive for us for treatment and treatment outcome. Lobular carcinoma in situ and ductal carcinoma in situ. These are benign breast lesion. In next class, we shall discuss about the breast carcinoma, types of carcinoma, prognostic factors, risk factors, etc. The very easy and important question students must have to remember for exam. So practice more and more and get ready for upcoming exam. This is the gross findings of a fibroadenoma. You know, fibroadenoma commonly occur at the age of 30. It is palpable, mobile, arising from intralobular stroma. It is well circumscribed, rubbery, and microscopy you have to know proliferation of both myxoid stroma and epithelial components. It may be pericanalicular or intercanalicular type. These are glandular proliferation and also stromal proliferation. Glandular proliferation with stromal proliferation. Microscopic feature of fibroadenoma. In short, these are the benign epithelial lesion, and today's ending microscopy of fibrocystic disease. Thank you, student.